We've got some breaking news out of the NFL. Hall of Famer Larry Allen has died. In a statement, the Cowboys said that Allen died suddenly on Sunday while vacationing with his family in Mexico. Regarded as one of the best offensive linemen in NFL history and a Dallas Cowboys legend, Allen's list of accolades is long. 7-time first-team All-Pro, 11-time Pro Bowl selection, a member of Dallas's Ring of Honor, and a Super Bowl champion. Physically strong and athletic for his size, listed at 335 as he was a dominant run blocker for Dallas, paving the way for Emmitt Smith in setting that career rushing record. Larry Allen was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2013, and he was 52 years old. Let's bring in Bryant McFadden and Charles Davis to have a conversation about Larry Allen. And B-Mac, I'll start with you. You played against him. What was it like being on that field?
I think Larry Allen, guys, was one of the more intimidating players I've ever stood across from. Now, the background story with Larry Allen and that one opportunity that I played against him, as you mentioned, Tommy, was leading up to that ball game. I knew who Larry Allen was. Being a football fan, just watching football throughout my entire life, before getting into the National Football League, you knew who Larry Allen was because you talked about his accolades, being a part of the Cowboys, blocking for the great Emmitt Smith, protecting Troy Aikman, and just seeing how strong he was. Because you remember back in those times when you went to the Pro Bowl, they had the fastest man event. They had the strongest man event. Larry Allen was a guy who always dominated when it came to showcasing his strength. So going back, fast forward to 2007, I think it was, when he was a part of San Francisco. I remember leading up to that ball game, Charles and Tommy, all the old heads that were a part of our team defensively said, this is a guy you do not want to engage with. Because if you do, he's going to put you through the turf. He's going to put you through the grass based on his strength and just his mentality. So I already knew who Larry Allen was, and that was one ball game, Charles, when I said, if I have to get anywhere close to the line of scrimmage, I'm not knocking on his door at all. I'm going the back door. I'm going through a side window. I'm not going anywhere close to Larry Allen, because if he engages with me, there's no telling what type of highlight I will be a part of. But that's just the intimidating factor that he brought to the game and just how well he played. Unbelievable football player, but a better man off the football field from what I've heard. And, gone too soon. It's unfortunate. Being only 52 years old, that's super young, guys. That's super young, man. And, my prayers are with his family, condolences to his family, because, all I know of Larry Allen, on and off the football field, did things the right way. Is one of the best interior linemen to ever play the game.
Charles, let me turn to you. What are your thoughts here as we're learning about the Hall of Famer gone way too soon?
Well, hearing B-Mac talk about what you have to do to steel yourself to be on the field with a guy like Larry Allen, that tells you what you need to know. Because Tommy and B-Mac, you remember that offensive line for the Cowboys during that time was as good as it got. You had Big Cat Williams playing tackle, Mark Tuinei playing the other tackle, Mark Stepnoski at center, Larry Allen at guard. They were so good, so fierce, so feared, yet Larry Allen still stood out amongst them, which tells you who he was. And look, when you think about the guys that when they just walk on the field, other people have a sinking feeling in their stomachs, guys who may have had an injury that week might not really be ready to go by Sunday knowing they were dealing with Larry Allen. He was one of those people, the type of person that in your scouting report, as you look at the game, do I really want to be out there and deal with that guy for 60 minutes? The answer was usually no, although many went to the chalk stripe and did it. But was it given a choice? You'd want to be out of there. He was that good, that fierce. But you go back to those Cowboys, as great as they were on that offensive line, he still managed to stand out, which tells you just how great of a player he was.
To continue that thought, Charles, I'm going to have you go first, and then B-Mac, you can follow here, because, Charles, you do a lot of scouting evaluation, obviously, in today's NFL. He was 335, and the great thing about social media is how quickly some of these videos are coming up of him preventing pick sixes, chasing down wide receivers. Charles, a guy that big is not supposed to be that fast.
No, you're not supposed to be equipped to do that, and that's a real problem when all that comes into play and becomes your full package. But you're thinking when we do this and evaluating, B-Mac, I think you could co-sign on this. We're always comparing people. I can't remember the last time an offensive guard came out of college football that we just said, "Oh, he's Larry Allen."
No.
That's too far. You know what I mean? Like, that's too much. I think Quentin Nelson, previous few years in Indianapolis, was kind of giving us that same mauling, you don't want to deal with him type of a guy. But he's not Larry Allen yet. The career has to continue, but it's that type of a player. Zach Martin, who continued it at Dallas. But as great a player as Zach Martin is, it's Larry Allen. You see what I'm saying? Now, look, I have some bias because I'm older, so I tend to lean towards the veteran guys. But you see where I'm going with that. I can't remember last time I heard someone say, "Oh, this guy reminds me of Larry Allen."
Well, Charles, the reason why you can't remember is because it's never been said before. Because he's one of one. That's why you can't remember, going through these drafts that we've covered year after year when you said, "Oh, that guy reminds me a lot of Larry Allen," or his NFL comp is Larry Allen. No, because we have yet to see that guy be birthed yet. Because Larry Allen was one of one. And great comps when you talk about the nearest comparison, Quentin Nelson, Zach Martin. I love that because I was thinking the same two guys. And the reason why is because how technically sound they were, but sometimes they displayed a ferociousness when you talk about the mentality just willing to put you through the dirt. But also, those are guys that are not nowhere close to the strength that Larry Allen had. I've never seen Larry Allen lost one battle. It's hard to go through dissect every play, but just me thinking about all the times that I watched Larry Allen play as a fan of the game or being a part of the NFL, I never saw him lose a battle. That's super impressive because, Charles, you know this, when you're playing against the best in the world, when you're considered the best in your position, sometimes, every now and then, you might lose a battle. You might, "Oh, okay, he got me." Dick LeBeau used to tell us all the time, sometimes the bear gets you, sometimes you get the bear. It happens in the National Football League. I never saw the bear get Larry Allen because he was the ultimate bear. You know what I mean? So kudos to his career. As you talked about, being an anchor for an outstanding offensive line, he was the tone setter. He was the guy that if you had a problem, let's go get Larry. Big Larry gonna come get it right. And usually most guys would, back down a little bit, say, "You know what? No, we're okay. We don't want any smoke."
Hey, let me jump in real quick, Tommy, very quickly on this, because B-Mac can tell you even better. As a defensive back, you rarely get on your teammates about things because you were back taking care of your own business. But if it's a running play and the offensive guard got to your level and took you out, if that happened consistently, you were like, "Hey, at some point, can you guys hold him up and let us have a one-on-one tackle with a back instead of Larry Allen enveloping me first?" That was the problem. Guys like Larry Allen made you fully consider having a discussion with your teammates about, can you do something, anything? Just hold that big man up. Because if he got a 15-yard run on a pull, B-Mac, think about it.
No,
like I used to say to my guys, if he got back here to me, that's a problem. Because that means the guy behind him is going to keep going. Because I can't do anything with that.
Hey, you know what we call that? I'm about to take this business class because I'm about to make a business decision.
Gentlemen, thank you for the insight on one of the game's best. Brian McFadden and Charles Davis here on CBS Sports HQ. Gentlemen, thank you. Again, the list of accolades for Larry Allen is lengthy. Let me just remind you folks, if you're just joining us again, 2013 first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, NFL 100 all-time team, two-time second team all-decade, and 11 Pro Bowls, including a handful of those first team selections. Larry Allen gone way too soon at the age of 52.